Hi everybody and welcome into another edition of the SunDevilSource Postgame Show. I'm Ethan Tuttle, joined alongside Chris Cartman. We're here at Desert Financial Arena following Arizona State's 82-67 win over USC. For the Sun Devils, they're now 11-7 overall and 5-2 in Pac-12 play. Chris, let's go ahead and get right into this one. Breaking it down for the Trojans coming into this one, Isaiah Collier and Boogie Collins not in for the Trojans, two of the best players on their team, if not the best. What did that mean for the Trojans in this one, and how did the Sun Devils take advantage?
Yeah, I just think ASU needed to win this game. Coming off what happened against UCLA, their relative position with a lot of the metrics in the NCAA net, and this was a ripe opportunity. You had to rebound and get this one. And they came out with a sense of purpose, I thought. Even though USC shot the ball extremely well in the first half, at one point I looked down, they were 66% from the field, but they were turning the ball over a lot. And there was a consistent pressure that was generated by ASU. Frankie Collins had 6 steals in the first half. The deflections were really high. A lot of points off turnovers that ASU was able to generate to overcome that USC strong shooting performance. And then ASU finished the half on an 8-0 run, and then continued in the second half. USC kept it close at times, but Jose Perez going to him in the mid-range, scoring the ball, what they were able to accomplish, just over 50% overall shooting from the second half, and everybody kind of got involved, and should not forget that Brian Salabange's 9 offensive rebounds, all of which came in the first half. A lot of second chance opportunities off his own misses, in fact, was a big part of that as well. So you put it all together, and this was one of ASU's better performances in one of the best environments that we've seen here at Desert Financial all season. I don't know the final attendance, but it was the second highest student attendance all time at ASU. Everybody trying to take a look at Bronny James, I'm sure. But Frankie Collins was living in Bronny James's space whenever he had the ball, and Bronny James wasn't really able to do much, especially in the second half, almost nothing.
Yeah, you talk about everybody coming out for Bronny James, but you're right. Most of the fans actually ended up getting a Frankie Collins show. His five-finger Frankie, as we like to call him, Chris, had 6 steals in just the first half. He also ended up with 17 points in this contest, and jumping up, hyping the crowd up throughout the course of this game. Just your thoughts on his performance and how he continues to get better and better week by week. It seems like he's playing some of the best basketball of his career right now.
Seems like every game I'm just tweeting about how good Frankie Collins has looked and the impact that he's had on this team. It's hard to remember anybody who's improved more within the span of about a year than Frankie Collins. I talked to him for a while after the game. The ability to make shots a lot more consistently from the perimeter opens everything up for him, because then you can't really guard him because he's a 3-level scorer. His passing ability is so good. I've never seen anybody who's better at operating on the back end of the press, at being able to play passing lanes and take the ball away from opponents. His on-ball defense is really stifling. I feel like his leadership and the energy that you talked about there are really brimming over to a new level. He was playing to the crowd, very animated. I just think people are really gravitating to him and focused on him as a leader of this team in a way that is very important, because he's unselfish. He plays both ends. He does everything that you kind of want. He rebounds his position, and this is a special type of a guard that we're seeing develop into an all-conference caliber type of a player before our eyes.
And it was another full effort from the Sun Devil defense as a whole, really, and they had another terrific game of full-court pressing, and it seems like that's been one of the strong suits of this team so far this season, and just under Bobby Hurley in general with the defensive mindset. Your thoughts on that performance tonight on the full-court press as well?
Look, we've said in these many times that ASU has to generate more offense with its defense. And tonight you're seeing Frankie Collins get a steal and a dunk. Jemiah Neal scoring in transition, Frankie Collins assisted. Other players are getting easy baskets. They don't want to be a team that plays half court and then the other team's half court and then half court. You're never going to be able to be successful against the upper echelon opponents, because ASU isn't a great shooting team overall, not a great half-court team. They need a transition style of play to be able to get out in the open court. Alonzo Gaffney's really key to that because of his ability on the point to have his length be really disruptive on opponents where they want to pass them. I'll tell you, get a lot of the first level steals. It makes it very difficult for Frankie Collins to be taken into a proper account playing behind that at the next level. So that's where he's able to kind of move around and get the ball. And everything else sort of flows off of them, with Jemiah Neal becoming a stat stuffer in recent weeks. He led the team in rebounds today. He's getting steals and deflections. Jose Perez, he's a gritty type of a physical presence who plays at both ends of the court. Adam Miller's a big guard who has the ability to impact in a variety of ways. I just think that they understand who they are and what they need to do to be successful a lot better than they did, let's say, a month ago, and that has catapulted them into a legitimate contender in the Pac-12.
Yeah, talking about the Pac-12 postseason for the Sun Devils and where they're at right now. Of course, as we record this, Arizona's trailing to UCLA. USC, not really what they were supposed to be this season. Oregon getting healthy, and they seem to be fighting back, and ASU on their way to Oregon soon. So how do the Sun Devils continue to get better and better against this tough competition coming up, and what are their hopes looking like right now for postseason play?
Yeah, even though Arizona's lost a couple games already and may lose again today, we'll see, but that's still the best team in the conference, extremely well coached at a high level. ASU's going to get 2 opportunities to play them and probably needs to win at least one of those games if they have legitimate NCAA tournament aspirations. Absent that, they're going to have to win every single opportunity that they have against quality opponents, including maybe going up and getting a win over Oregon, having to go on the road and get a win at Colorado or Utah, beating USC on the road when they travel to Los Angeles, UCLA. So their situation is very difficult. They put themselves really behind the 8 ball. We talked about it a lot with their non-conference, not being able to be healthy with Adam Miller, not able to play. Also, on top of that, with the NCAA saying, rules that were then changed, Sean Phillips being out, and now kind of he's back in there. And these guys are getting a feel for each other. Perez, Neal, Miller, Collins, and how to share the basketball. And I don't see any reason why, if this team stays healthy, that they shouldn't be among the top 3 or 4 in the conference the rest of the way. And they're going to need to be, because right now they're 20, 30 spots in the NCAA net rankings out of contention for a legitimate shot at an NCAA tournament berth. So they got to go on the road. They got to win some games. They can't lose here at DFA the rest of the way, probably all season. If they do both of those things, and then they put together something that's impressive in Las Vegas for the Pac-12 tournament, that's a potential thing to get them into contention. But really, you just have to think about it in terms of they're playing good basketball. Like, they could have easily beaten UCLA and been a 5-1 team right now. They lost their composure. They have to make sure that they're putting their best foot forward when they go on Oregon, Oregon State, and beyond.
And no more blackout Bobby, right, Chris?
Yeah, Bobby Hurley said today that he had a little bit of a blackout moment talking about that UCLA game. Didn't explicitly say it, but certainly was impugning the performance of the officiating in that game. But ASU didn't really commit a lot of fouls in this game. Hurley did get a technical. He said it was one little flare-up moment, but other than that, the ASU players were extremely composed. The whole team was. That's more what they need to do moving forward.
82-67, the final here is the Sun Devils come out on top over USC. He's Chris Cartman. I'm Ethan Tuttle. We're saying thank you so much. We'll see you next time.